Hello and welcome to season two, episode 18 of Aunt Lainey's Kitchen. I am here and I'm excited for today's show. So I'm going to start off with picnic season. You know what that means, okay? And then I'll review First Watch, like a breakfast review, if you will. Then I'll do my recipe in progress with some skillet carrots, and then my comfort show, okay? Because we all need a little comfort right now. Okay, let's start off with picnic season. Now, I feel like I've been doing this show since 2024 and it's 2026. And I know like every year I've done a show about picnics, but I feel like this year, because everything going on with the grocery prices and stuff, this is a very special episode of pic or a very special segment of picnic season. I feel like I'm in the 70s and 80s. Remember, they'd have those very special episodes of primetime TV to talk about a social issue. So, we know that these grocery prices are high, okay? But we still want to see people. We still want to hang out. We still want to try to have some kind of like normal kind of summer, okay? Springtime summer. My whole thing with this is that what I noticed I was doing is I was overbuying food for picnics. Now, when you think about it, like, oh no, it's not that big of a deal, but a lot of food's sitting out there. So then it's not getting eaten and you have to throw it away because it's like past it's kind of like time sitting out there. So what I'm learning and or reteaching my because I know this, right? We all know this, but it's like habits. I attended a picnic and they just went by the RSVPs instead of saying, "Oh, well, we got like, some maybes and so maybe like but we got more maybes than we did confirmations of attendance. Let's just kind of lean towards the maybes." And then it was like, you know what? Not in this economy, right? So I would definitely say if you get like 40 people that RSVP and you have 60 maybes, just buy for the 40 people, honestly. And then be honest about like, hey, we're buying for 40 people. So if you didn't RSVP, you're still maybe, please do not come. Of course, people want to come anyway because they're like, they don't want to be excluded, but they can't, and I totally get that. But grocery prices are so high that you can't, like having something where you have to throw out all this food because it sat out there is not the move anymore. It wasn't the move back then, but it's really not the move now. So if you have a lot of maybes and you know they're going to show up, but other things, I would just kind of I would limit kind of the food that I have sitting out there. Like maybe if you can, again, depending on where you're like where you're doing things, maybe you're doing something in your backyard. Well, then you can kind of keep things, refrigerated and then, warm them up as more people show up. If you're in a park situation and you can put them on ice or just like I said, like keep it super, super simple as far as that as far as like your meat entrees and all that stuff. You might have to lean towards doing more shredded meats instead of doing like a slab of a hamburger or whatever. Maybe you have to do more shredded meats and you can kind of keep those on ice for a while. But again, just something to think about right now. And then something else is get a good sign up sheet so everyone is on the same page about what they're bringing because people are like, oh yeah, I'll bring this. And then you've got like four like different green bean casseroles, or you've got like six of the same kind of potato chips. So yeah. And if there's a theme, be really clear about that theme. Like, don't say, oh, well, I thought maybe like at the last, it's not the time to do last minute stuff. Like, if it's a theme, let people know it's a theme. And and also, and with the way the economy is right now, keep your themes very simple. Keep it simple so people aren't feeling compelled to have to order, online to get this outfit. Just keep it so simple. Even doing something like like hey, bring a ball cap or something, or a trucker's hat or something like that, some kind of thing. Or hey, wear your baseball or your favorite sports team shirt or some kind of sports thing. That's very easy to do. You could just like sports, you could just go get like a headband at some discount store if you did have to buy something, or you can put on like one of your shirts that with your favorite sporting team on there. You know what I'm trying to say. Okay, just keep it mellow. Like just again, keep in mind and yeah, have fun too. And also make sure there's enough seating. Because there's nothing worse than you're going to like a lake thing and you're just standing around, you're eating, and it's like, okay, when I'm eating and I'm eating a lot of food, I want to sit down depending on like for some reason in someone's house, I'm fine standing up and eating, in the kitchen or whatever. But when I'm outside, I want a chair. So if there's not going to be enough chairs, encourage people like, hey, we might have a shortage of chairs. So if you can just bring your own camp chair just in case, that we would appreciate it. So again, that works as well. Again, something to think about. I always hate like I do these like little public services announcements and I feel like I'm yelling at my audience, but I'm not. I just want everyone to have fun and be safe and during picnic season and still be able to have picnics, right? Okay, moving on from picnic season. Okay, we're moving on from picnic season, and I'm heading to breakfast at First Watch. So recently, I went to First Watch with one of my dear friends, and I hadn't been to First Watch in like I feel like it'd been a while since I'd been there, and usually I keep it simple. Like I just get, the bacon. Like, they've got like their award. I don't know if they call it award-winning bacon, what they call it, but it's really good. And usually I just have like a plate of bacon. But this time I was like, no, let's go ahead and do a full kind of breakfast. So I got the full breakfast. I also thought about doing um an omelet, but I knew that I was going to be like running around later that day to a lot. And I thought, you know what? If I do that, I am going to end up so sleepy and it's going to be a little too heavy for me. So I'm like, you know what? Let's not do that. And so yeah, so I kind of got the full breakfast that they have. They call it $1 million bacon, just FYI, because that was bothering me. So I'm like, I have to look that up because that was bothering me. And again, the bacon is really good. But I just kind of opted to keep it simple. And I asked the server, I'm like, hey, what do you recommend? Because I still have to do like a couple more things. And so I just got the traditional breakfast. And I'm really glad that I did. So I got bread. So it looks like I had like two slices of bread and it was like I think it was like a wheat bread and then I wanted my eggs scrambled. So I got scrambled eggs. It looks like they put some chives on there. They were very light and fluffy. Then I had a few pieces of bacon, which were really good. And then I had some of like the home fries, kind of like the cubed kind of breakfast potatoes. They were so all of it was so good and it filled me up without weighing me down. Now, listen, I was in downtown North Kansas City, and I met up with my friend around I think 9 a.m. And so around 9 a.m., what I've noticed anytime I've gone there, like for breakfast, past a certain time, there's like a lot of people that are leaving because when you get there around 7 or so, it starts filling up. Like 8 o'clock, it starts filling up, but then 9, it starts emptying out. But probably around, I'd say about 10 or so, you're getting closer to 10, people start coming in again. So that's just like an FYI, you kind of get more people coming in. I noticed around 10 10 a.m. And then in the past when I've been there, when like 11 is super busy, and then it seems to kind of slow down around 12:30, 1 o'clock because you got to think people are like exploring North Kansas City. Things are like shops are opening up, so maybe they want to get something to eat real quick, or if they live up in North Kansas City, you get something to eat real quick before you head on to your next destination for the day. Especially on the weekends, and so. I definitely would recommend this. If with a big party, sometimes it can be challenging if you've got like an eight top. So just keep that in mind because it is pretty busy. But I would say if you've got like maybe, up to four people being seated, it shouldn't be too long of a wait. Okay. Because the tables are always turning. There is pretty much a quick turnaround. People don't generally linger there, and so yeah, I love this place and again it stays open. It's like a luncheonette place because it does not, I think it closes around 2:30 or so, so they don't do nighttime service, which when I first got here I was like, gosh, that just is so, but I understand, it's really difficult to kind of like keep things going past a certain time because you're going to get those ebbs and flows. But if you serve things from 7 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., you generally it's like okay because it's still daytime outside, so you don't have to worry about oh man, we're getting a drop off during the winter months because people don't want to drive in the dark. So yeah, you don't have to really deal with that. Okay, we are leaving First Watch and we are headed back to my kitchen. And I'll talk to you a little bit about the skillet carrots. So I got this Asian sesame salad dressing. Now, I got these carrots, right? And I'm going to use the last batch of them this weekend. And I was thinking, I'm like, okay, and I haven't made this yet. So this is like in my mind, like I'm just like, okay, how can we do this? And I'm like, okay, I've got these carrots. I've got this Asian sesame salad dressing. And I was thinking, I'm like, you know what? Why don't I, put like a little bit of oil in a cast iron skillet. I've already got, I can grate the carrots, and then I can just kind of lightly do a light glaze with a little bit of lemon juice, and then top it with some green onions, and just kind of do this nice little kind of skillet hash, like a nice little side, like a side dish, or even an appetizer. So I'm like, you know what, this is a nice, a little salad thing. I could maybe throw some lettuce in there as well, maybe add a little bit of ginger in there. And so, again, my mind's kind of like it's kind of like, taking all the information, trying to figure out the best way to make it. So I'm going to practice first before I do it on my Aunt Lainey's Kitchen Cooking Live, just so I kind of have an idea. Now, again, it is always fun to watch my idea go from in my mind to like on the camera, and I'm doing it on the camera. And, sometimes the results are varied, but that's okay. I get better at it. But, it's like I write these things down and I'm like, okay, I've got all these things written down. I've just got to try them. So, you know how it is. So there you go. That is going to be my recipe in progress. I'm going to be working on that. And I think it's really important. Now, I know some people like to do carrot ribbons, and I love them too. But I feel like for this particular dish, I'm going to do grated carrots, like not the carrots from the store that are grated. Although if that's all you have, that's all you have. But like, I've got my carrots and I can just grate them on, put them on the cheese grater and get like a nice texture, a nice fresh kind of texture that's going to hold the glaze and not get like weighed down where you're like, oh, it tastes good, but it's just like weighed down and the texture is weird. This texture is going to be amazing. It's going to put like a little bit of a crisp on it. So already I'm getting excited for it. Okay, now finally we can get some comfort. Okay, I am back with my comfort show. I'm only doing what like I was looking at some of my past shows, and I'm like, yes, it's great to have like this list of comfort things, but I think sometimes it can be very overwhelming to be like, oh yeah, here's five comfort shows. Like it's like, okay, or you could just do one that has, some seasons to them. So you're not having to like, come up with like two or three an episode. I'm like, okay, that works. So for this week, I'm talking to you guys about Tastemaker. And so there is a host, Kat Neville, and she's also a journalist, and she kind of is a foodie person. And she travels across the United States to visit food artisans, right? The people that do the breweries, the people with the tea shops, the people with like the chocolate shop, the chocolatiers, the farmers. And just all kinds of like the tortillas, there's just all kinds of even wineries, you name it, she's probably going there and checking it out, checking out the vibes. So I'm like, and there are four seasons to this, and I believe you can also find her on YouTube, although I don't think there's full episodes there, but there are four seasons on PBS. And this show, I think the most recent season is from a couple of years ago. But again, I'll watch older shows when it comes to cooking. It doesn't really bother me if a show is from 1998 or 2011, as long as the food is good and I can still get inspired by that. That's all I care about. It doesn't have to be cutting edge or current or anything like that. Now, um, on that note, I am going to humbly take my leave back to the kitchen. If you want more information about me, you can go to AuntLanie'sKitchen.com. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Tickety Tockety, and YouTube under Aunt Lanie's Kitchen as well. You guys, thanks so much for all of your support. I'm seeing the analytics every week. It's like I'm getting more and more listeners, so I definitely appreciate that. And you guys take care, and I will talk to you soon.